where you came.
Forget where you came, yeah. Don't bring my name.
It is 10:32. We are coming back to wrap up this 10 o'clock hour in downtown Alton with a fun conversation with DK Dance. How are you doing today? Oh, well, hold on. I got to turn your microphone on. I did this last time. I do it all the time, guys. I know. Once a day, I always botch something. But how are you now that we can hear you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
So take us through this. DK Dance is really, I mean, just popping. It's popping. I mean, you got locations coming, across the area. How did this all start?
So I grew up dancing, started when I was 3 years old, and have always had this passion for dance. As I got older, I started teaching. I taught for 25 years. But I opened the first location in Florissant, Missouri in 2006. And it grew and grew and grew. Now we're in a 10,000 square foot building that we love. We started, it's funny because we started I called it the hallway because it was like 900 square feet. And that was the studio, the lobby, the bathroom, and my little tiny office that was really just a piece of plywood on 2 file cabinets. So we have really grown. We've grown in Florissant to this bigger location, right, where we have 4 studio rooms there. We have a retail store at that location. In 2017, we opened the Alton location.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I thought Alton was, this is my ego getting in front of us Altonians. I thought Alton was first. I was wrong.
No. Florissant is the oldest child. And then Alton came along in 2017, which we just moved last summer to a new beautiful facility. I'm so proud of it.
Where is that at?
It is located at 3100 Homer Adams Parkway, the old cyclery building.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I have driven by there, and I keep going, I think that's where DK is now.
Yeah.
But now I know for sure. So
Yeah.
how did that move kind of develop? Was that a location you had your eye on?
So it was. It was kind of a labor of love. I just kept looking at it, and we knew that we needed to get out of the space that we were in. Just a lot of facility issues. It was too small for our student enrollment. And I had been looking at that building, then COVID hit, then my mom was ill, and then she passed away, and then I had a cancer diagnosis. There were so many things that happened from the time we started looking at this building until we actually made the move, which we started working on it last April, and then we were able to do the full build out and everything, and moved in August. So we started this season in that new beautiful facility.
And how's it been going?
So great. We love it. Everything about it is so great. Just the space.
Well, right. Well, and too, I mean, I've been up to the location because I actually, believe it or not, with Rigdon, had to go in and look at a few things for you guys. And,
the facility.
The facility. And I mean, it really was really smaller. And you guys had, I could only imagine how creative you guys had to get classes done. But,
Yeah.
I mean, this is really cool. I mean, just to see this develop. And I had no idea about any of the hardships you're kind of going through. And
Yeah.
Is everything better now, though?
Yeah. I am cancer free.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's scary. I'm relatively young, but to get that diagnosis as a 42-year-old, and
Right.
I'm 43 now, I'll be 44 in May, but to get that diagnosis, it was really scary. And I had lost my mom like 5 months before that. So it was just kind of a rough go for a minute, but, we made it through. We have an excellent team between the 3 locations that really supported me. And we had built that infrastructure on the business side for, me to be able to come out of the business and recover and have that time with my family. So, that's been really important. But amongst all of that happening, we opened the Jerseyville location in 2020. So that, and Jerseyville is my hometown.
Right.
So it's always kind of weird going back to your hometown.
Yeah.
I lived away for a long time, and then I moved back in 2015. And, we just had the Florissant location at that time, and we had made the move to that bigger building. And it was like, I just worked. That's all I did.
Right.
We didn't do a lot of stuff in Jerseyville. My son goes to school there, but like other than that, it was like school, and then I would drive to St. Louis and work. So, but now like we have the business in Jerseyville. We opened in August of 2020 in the middle of the pandemic.
How did that go?
It's funny because when we made the schedule and we decided to do that, and my director of operations is Tabby Young, who is from Alton. When we kind of made that decision, I was like, "Oh, can we do this? It's like kind of a tricky time right now, So should we do this?" And she's like, "Yeah, I think we should do it. Like, let's go for it." And I said, when we open registration, if we can get like 60 kids,
right,
the first season, like I will be like ecstatic.
Right.
And by 11 o'clock that morning, we had like 140 kids registered.
That's fantastic.
And I'm on the phone with her. I'm like, girl,
you made the right call.
we made the right call, but we got to get a hold of teachers. We got to have more classes.
God,
we were like already waitlisted at that point. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, whoa. So,
well, and I think a part of that is just how it's because of how good you guys are and how, much it's really a family with you guys. You guys have a great team. But I wanted to ask you about some of the things that I've never heard of before in some of these studios, and it doesn't matter if it's dance or any class, is the safer studio method that you guys have. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, for sure. So, when we were kind of going through COVID, we are a member of More Than Just Great Dancing, which is an affiliation of studios across the world.
Okay.
There is about 300 of us, and it's an application process to get into this affiliation.
Okay.
So it really holds us to higher standards in not only curriculum, but business practices for our students and our clients. And that safer studio method, I guess, is really assuring not only that our kids are safe, but our families have that communication around everything that we do.
Right.
So we make sure that everything goes out to our parents in multiple forms of communication. So, during the time of the lockdown, so to speak, we were out of the buildings for about 2 months. Mm-hmm. And during that time, we ran over 130 Zoom classes a week. And that was only with the 2 locations at the time because we hadn't opened Jerseyville yet. So, we had a lot going on at a really crazy time, but I was really proud to keep all of our staff employed. No one was laid off. We made sure that everyone was taken care of. And, our kids were still dancing. We were giving them some, like, I hate to use this word because it's become so cliche, but like sense of normalcy.
Yep.
So, but we gave those kids those classes weekly to, feel some kind of a connection when everybody's stuck in their house, because they're so used to that. And that social aspect of dance is so important for the kids.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, and too, you make a great, I'm so glad to hear that you were so innovative in this, because I was sitting there and I have nephews and nieces, but one of my cousins, I was sitting there seeing her play on her, computer because she was getting ready for Zoom class. And as she was kind of sitting there and just messing around, she was already focused in though, just kind of typing around. These, and kids had no focus. They had no way to kind of stay diligent in their work because there was no mom or dad to go, hey, watch your darn screen, or whatever. But it kind of became to the point where I felt so bad for the kids because they were missing out on so much. To hear that you guys really created a way to keep everyone engaged, or at least try to. Yes, that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, it was, and it was, it was just a weird time, and I don't think that the teachers probably didn't love teaching like that, but like it's what we had to do, and it's like you kind of embrace that when it happened. So, I think it was just it was just a weird time.
That makes sense. And you know, I just think it's so cool. So with classes coming up, we've been talking a little about just the overview a bit. We'll circle back to it, but classes are getting ready to come up. I'm thinking with summer getting ready to start or spring getting ready to kick off more than summer. What are coming our way for maybe if anyone wants to sign their, son and daughter up for a new dance class or maybe to learn something new?
Yeah, for sure. So we have right now some of our mini sessions coming up. Those are at all 3 locations. They are a once-a-week class, and it's a 5-week session. Those have been for our younger kids, like 3 to 6 years old, and we are currently doing a Frozen theme.
Oh, yeah!
Because who doesn't love Frozen?
Right.
So we're doing a Frozen theme right now. We still are enrolling for our tumbling classes. Mm-hmm. So the dance season runs kind of like the school year does. Starting in August and then ending in June.
Okay.
And then we do our annual recital in June. So most of our dance classes right now have kind of closed for that June recital because we've ordered costumes and we have this big performance that those classes are working on. But we are still enrolling in our tumbling classes. But we have 3 different competitive teams between the locations. Each location kind of has their own team.
Okay.
Our elite competitive dance team is at our Florissant location, and they are doing a prep clinic in May 20th at the Florissant location to get ready for those auditions later in the summer. And then our Alton location, which this is a new program that we started last year because moving to the new facility, we had more room.
Right.
And
a ton more room.
A ton more room because you know.
Right. Oh my God. I seriously don't know how you were able to make that work. It was impressive.
It was a tight fit. We have a lot more room. So we started an all-star cheer program.
Really?
Yeah.
Take us through that. What is that?
So we have 2 cheer teams, a tiny team and a youth team, and they will do 2 competitions. Mm-hmm. They rehearse or practice once a week. We are looking to expand that program. We have our parent meeting for those interested in joining that team and trying out for that team on May 6th. And then our tryouts are June 3rd.
Awesome.
They'll be competing in both March and April this season. So, and that one I believe is at the Convention Center, America Center downtown, and then the other is at the Gateway Center. So we're really excited about that, and the kids are really excited.
Right.
Obviously. It's a new program, so like we're all just really pumped about that. So
I would be too. That's so cool. Well, what I like is it's like, where do you stop? Because you keep developing and coming up with these different things. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so cool.
I think I'm like a serialpreneur, like a serial entrepreneur.
That's the shirt. That is the shirt and a half. Okay, so we're talking. I got to ask you just to give us a break here. For everyone at home, they know this. I used to spin because I was a traveling soccer player and doing all the club stuff with Gallagher. And, we'd be in a hotel room every weekend. And what was on? Dance Moms. I got to ask you. I just got to. Okay, on the spot. How legitimate is this show?
Not.
Okay. Well,
it is not. And, one thing that we really strive for is a culture in our buildings, in our DK tribe that we call it. To not have that type of behavior. Parents, kids, all of that. None of our staff are Abby Lee's sitting down teaching. None of that. We're not having any of that. We foster a very positive environment for our kids and our parents, and that show is.
That's right. I just
bananas.
had to know. I had to know because I'm sitting there going, if I could be a dance teacher like that, I'd make millions. I mean, we're good to go. But no, this is great. So let's circle back here to your DK Dance Studio. So I got to ask you, you're starting this up, and I mean, obviously now you're in a position where you're going, wow, this was really cool. But were there times where you go, man, is it time to, kind of move forward here? Is it time to move along? Was there a date and time where you go, wow, I made the right call doing this? That's kind of where I'm leading in.
I think that it's always been something that I've loved.
Yeah.
I went to school for business. I have a business degree. I have a dance degree. And then when I came back to the area, because I went to school out near Kansas City, when I came back to the area, I got my master's in business at Lindenwood. And I always thought that I would like be corporate. Like I would be like, that was my dream. Like I want to be in a suit and heels every day.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a minute and I hated it. And and I worked for Anheuser-Busch.
Okay.
I was an efficiency consultant for their wholesalers.
Oh, wow.
So it was like
Yeah, good job.
Good
Yeah.
job,
Good job.
and I got to travel and do all these things. And, the studio opportunity came along and I like remembered when I started teaching again, like, oh man, this is like what I love. I love the kids. I love seeing them grow and learn and like the light bulb go off. And I'm like, oh yeah, to watch them work on something for so long and then, get it.
Right.
And they're, it's just awesome. Like that's really, my favorite part of it. And I think there's always those times in like you always see those like memes of like an entrepreneur's day, like, I'm awesome. Oh, I suck.
Yeah.
This is great. What am I doing? And it's like this jagged line. And I think that, like overall, there's a lot of that through the years.
Right.
There are days where there's a lot of that. But for the most part, I feel like what we've done and what we've built really makes a difference in the three communities and us being able to teach the arts to kids, especially in the world that we live in right now.
Oh, yeah.
Everything, it just gives them so much outside of dance, right? It's like time management, discipline, respect, all of these things that, they will take and use in any job, any kind of anything that they'll be able to teach their kids, all of that. So that's what I love. And it was like, oh, okay, like I'm really making a difference.
Yeah. It's so cool because you hit it right on the head. I've always said without any type of, it doesn't matter if it's a sport, like dance or, soccer, football, or even an activity, you got to have something that really gives structure to a child's life because it helps big time. If I didn't have it, I don't know where I'd be because I've already been in trouble a time or two. But so I got to transfer a little bit. We have a couple of minutes left here in this segment, and I want to ask you about some of the really cool things that you guys do, and that's your social media too. I think you do a really good job at that. Your website's really nice and really updated. I'm looking, and I keep seeing this dance challenge. It's in your February newsletter here. Check out our social media and join the fun. How can we do this? Is this a thing?
Yeah, you could totally do it. We have a dance challenge going on right now. One of our teachers did post that, and you learn the dance that she has posted, kind of like a TikTok, and then you post it on your own social media, and it's actually a St. Louis or an Alton celebrity.
Oh.
The mayor's daughter, Sarah.
Oh, there you go.
She is one of our teachers, and so she's the one that posted that challenge.
That's great.
Yeah, it's to honor Black History Month.
That's fantastic, and a great way to do it too. I think is to is celebrate in all aspects, and that's
absolutely
fantastic. So, transition here. We got a couple minutes left. Did we talk mini sessions yet?
We talked about mini sessions a little bit with our Frozen.
Cool.
Our Frozen mini sessions. We have one other team, which is our Jerseyville competitive team, the DK Stars.
Okay.
They have their auditions on June the 21st. Like I said, we have 3 different competitive teams, one at each location. We try to kind of even things out between all the locations. So we have that coming up. The Jerseyville location actually just won Business of the Year.
Oh yeah,
yeah, which it was announced Thursday night at a dinner, but it was announced yesterday on social media. So we're really, really proud of that. The Jersey County Business Association named us Business of the Year.
Fantastic.
Which we were I'm so honored.
Oh, yeah.
1, being my hometown, and 2, like all of the great small businesses in Jerseyville, like just wild. It's why I was so happy and shocked, and just it was a lot of emotions.
Oh,
but
for sure.
we've had a great team, and I attribute all of that to the staff that we have. They're just amazing. So
what's the next step here? I mean, you're developing stuff each and every day. You're already up to 3 locations. I mean, what's is there a 5-year plan you have, or are you just taking it day by day and seeing what comes up?
yeah, so it's funny because when we only had 1 location, I never thought we would have 2 locations. And then we had 2 locations. And I was like, well, we will never have 3 locations. And so, I don't have another location in mind, like as of yet. I am working on a project outside of dance.
Oh, cool.
That is another love of mine, which is baseball.
Oh, I love it. There
Because, why not?
Hell, have fun.
But we are building a baseball training facility.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will be, it's in Delhi, actually.
Okay.
And it's, in between
Yeah,
Jerseyville and Godfrey, really. The turf comes tomorrow for the facility. It's about 3,500 square feet.
Wow.
We'll have a 60-foot cage, fielding area that coaches will be able to rent out for, indoor practice and whatnot when we have, bad days like we had yesterday, like the terrible weather that we had. So it's called the All-Star Fieldhouse. So we're really excited about that. Ballet and baseball, like my 2 loves.
That's the next shirt. I'm telling you came up with 2 shirts today. I love it. Well, and I was checking. We have a text line, and I get questions asked all the time, and I try to ask them whenever they come up. But
Sure.
I got one on the text line, and I thought, this is really something. And that's why I kept being distracted. Alice, your evening dress is ready. We'll have final confirmation tomorrow at 10 a.m. I promise my name isn't Alice, and I did not order an evening dress. Well, it depends, because my credit card was on hand Saturday night, so who knows what I did. 10:53, what's the best way to reach out for more classes and info?
Yeah, so you can check out our website at www.dkdancepro.com or email us at info@dkdancepro.com.
Absolutely. 10:53. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Thank you.
We're wrapping up the 10 o'clock hour right after a quick break, so sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, you got some time, and we'll come back and talk some more.